across the national capital region. Since yesterday, that's the 1st of June, diesel vehicles over 10 years old and petrol vehicles over 15 years old are banned from refueling at any petrol pump in Delhi. Vehicles caught trying to refuel are being impounded and sent for scrapping. Come November, this policy will hit Noida, Faridabad and Gurugram along with Ghaziabad and Sonipat. This rule will soon be extended to the entire national capital region by April 2026. But this move has ignited a fierce political and public debate. What is behind this policy and why is there so much outrage? And I meant 1st of July, pardon me. Delhi has over 80 lakh registered vehicles and around 62 lakh of these have reached their end of life. To enforce the ban, authorities have installed automated number plate recognition cameras at nearly 500 petrol stations. These laws are not new. The National Green Tribunal passed them in 2015. The Supreme Court then backed them in 2018. But the denying of fuel at petrol pumps, leading to scrapping of vehicles, has only set the cat among the pigeons afresh.
सर, ये तो एक तानाशाह वाला रूल है। इस अगर सोचें तो 10 साल पुरानी गाड़ी का कुछ नहीं बिगड़ता। अगर आप उसको मेंटेन ढंग से रखो तो उस गाड़ी का कुछ नहीं होता। अगर आप अब्रॉड की पॉलिसी देखते हैं तो 20, 25, 30 साल ही पुरानी गाड़ियां भी चल रही है। अगर उसको आप सही मेंटेन रखो तो कुछ नहीं होता गाड़ी का। और जो गाड़ियां कंपनी बना रही है, टोयोटा बना रही है या मारुति बना रही है, जो इंजीनियर बना रहे हैं गाड़ियां, तो फिर तो इस तरीके से देखा जाए तो वो भी गलत है।
अगर गवर्नमेंट का ये रूल है कि 15 साल में डिस्पोजल हो जाना चाहिए, 10 साल में डिस्पोजल हो जाना चाहिए, तो लोग वो कर देना चाहिए, बेच देना चाहिए दूसरे स्टेट में। और जो लोग नहीं करते हैं उनके लिए फैसला ठीक है, दे फोर्सफुली दे हैव टू सेल देम नाउ।
अगर मेरी महीना का अर्निंग कम है और मेरी गाड़ी ठीक है तो मैं लाख रुपए का बाइक कहाँ से लूँ? मेरी गाड़ी खड़ी है घर पे, अभी चला नहीं रहा हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये इसके लिए भी लेना जरूरी है, तभी चल पाएंगे रोड पे, वरना कैसे चलेंगे हम।
Now, the reinforcement of this court order has sparked widespread criticism. Politics naturally has also started. The government has been accused of enforcing an age-based diktat that ignores the actual pollution levels of vehicles. Critics argue that vehicles with valid PUC, which is Pollution Under Control certificates, should not be penalized simply because of how old they are.
एक बीमारी थी दिल्ली के अंदर, आम आदमी पार्टी। ये बीमारी, खांसी की बीमारी, सारी दिल्ली को बीमार करके गई है। ये केवल और केवल कंडीशंस दिल्ली की नाकाम सरकार, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सरकार के ऊपर लगी हैं। ऐसी कोई कंडीशन महाराष्ट्र के मुंबई मेट्रो सिटी पे नहीं लगी। ऐसी कोई कंडीशन वेस्ट बंगाल के कोलकाता के ऊपर नहीं लगी। ऐसी कोई कंडीशन चेन्नई में नहीं लगी। ऐसी कोई कंडीशन बेंगलोर में नहीं लगी। देश की किसी भी राजधानी के अंदर, देश के किसी भी बड़े स्टेट के अंदर, देश सिटी के अंदर, किसी मेट्रो सिटी के अंदर जहां इससे भी ज्यादा ट्रैफिक है, वहां पे कोई ऐसी बंदिश नहीं है। ये बंदिश कहां है? ये बंदिश केवल और केवल अरविंद केजरीवाल के 10 साल के किए हुए राज के उस सूबे के ऊपर है जो बिल्कुल नाकाम हुआ।
दिल्ली के पॉल्यूशन को देखते हुए माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट और पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बॉडीज जो हैं, CAMQ इत्यादि, सब लोग इस विषय की संगीनता को देखते हुए लगातार ये बात कह रहे हैं कि एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल्स को बंद किया जाना चाहिए। हम भी उसकी वायबिलिटी देख रहे हैं कि दिल्ली में यदि कार्रवाई ये शुरू होती है तो उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ठीक से हो।
इस आदेश का सिर्फ एक ही कारण हो सकता है, क्यों 10 साल पुरानी गाड़ियों को सड़क से हटाया गया है। इसका कारण है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की कार मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, टू व्हीलर मैन्युफैक्चरर से सेटिंग हो गई है। अगर 62 लाख गाड़ियों को सड़क से हटाया गया तो 62 लाख लोगों को नए टू व्हीलर, नई मोटरसाइकिल, नई गाड़ियां खरीदनी पड़ेंगी। इसका फायदा सिर्फ और सिर्फ मोटरसाइकिल बनाने वालों को, गाड़ियां बनाने वालों को हो रहा है और किसी को इसका फायदा नहीं हो रहा।
क्या इनके पास और कोई तरीका नहीं है पुरानी गाड़ियों को रोकने का? क्या मॉनसून के अंदर, जब दिल्ली में मॉनसून आ चुका है रोज बारिश हो रही है, उसमें आप आर्टिफिशियल रेन का पायलट करेंगे। छोटे छोटे गड्ढे आपने भर दिए और बड़े बड़े गड्ढे छोड़ दिए। पेट्रोल पंप पे पेट्रोल पंप वाला लड़ाई झगड़ा करेगा पेट्रोल देने वालों को। पेट्रोल पंप मालिकों की एसोसिएशन कह रही है कि ये जो है इम्प्रैक्टिकल है, मगर जैसे एक फुलेरा की पंचायत चलती है उस तरीके से पूरी की पूरी सरकार को चलाने की कोशिश है, और इनको सरकार चलानी नहीं आती, न ही चला सकते हैं।
The goal may be clean air, but it's the common man who is left to choke, not from pollution, but perhaps from policy. And that brings us to the questions of the day. Bye-bye old car directive. Is it reasonable or ruthless? Does the government have any leeway in rolling back this directive? And the politics over junking old cars. How disingenuous is it really? Siddharth Sharma, spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, joins us. Vivek Chattopadhyay, Senior Program Manager, Air Pollution Control at CSE, Center for Science and Environment. And Renuka Jain, who herself is quite aggrieved by this decision, tax-paying citizen. But my first question is to you, Dr. Anil Gupta, spokesperson of the BJP. So much backlash. Is there nothing that you can do for people who are just asking for a little bit of tweaking of the rules?
Yeah, good evening to you and all the viewers. See, this is not the order of the Delhi government. It is as per the order of National Green Tribunal, which were followed by the order of the CAQM. This order was there during the Kejriwal and Atishi regime also. In fact, during their tenure also, the government agencies used to compound all these types of old vehicles. It is a new one. It is not a new order. And you know, Delhi has a worsening air quality index. For last 10-11 years, the air quality index reached the red letter day of the history. That means more than 999. Now, we are committed for cleaning of the air of Delhi. We are committed for the cleaning of the Yamuna. We are just following the orders of the Honorable Court. And
somebody has to bell the cat and the BJP is doing it. Why the politics?
Let me reply. See.
No, hold on a second. Let me ask the Aam Aadmi Party. I think that is Dr. Piyush Joshi, if I am not mistaken, instead of Siddharth Sharma.
That's correct, yes.
Yes, Dr. Piyush Joshi. They're just belling the cat. What's the problem? Why the politics?
The problem is very simple, because ultimately you are chosen to represent the people of Delhi, and you're not doing so. You're not doing that. If the BJP is, such an agyakari of the Honorable Supreme Court, why didn't they follow the order of the Honorable Supreme Court's constitutional bench regarding the administrative affairs of Delhi? Why did Modi ji in a hurry pass the ordinance, and making the LG the administrative supreme of the Delhi government?
Okay.
Number one. Number two, there is this love.
Can I please have Dr. Anil Gupta on air as well? Yes, go on.
Yeah, so there is this love of Bharatiya Janata Party with with all kinds of urgencies,
But Dr. Piyush Joshi, I'm sorry, you are as agyakari as the current Delhi government. What did you do in 2018? You ordered the scrapping guidelines as well, where you also said that all vehicles over 15 years old are going to be scrapped. Then and this was because the Supreme Court had already upheld it in October 29. On October 29, 2018, the Supreme Court upheld what the NGT said. Subsequently, in August 30, 2021, your transport department clarified that despite registration certificates being valid for 15 years, diesel vehicles over 10 years and petrol vehicles over 15 years will not be allowed to ply. So you did exactly this. Aren't you being a little disingenuous now, saying, "Arey, ye Delhi Sarkar, hi, aapne bhi yahi kiya tha." You did exactly the same thing.
No, precisely, that is not what we did. We did follow the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court. We did try to follow the orders of the NGT as well, but there is not, there is no such urgency. You have to have a plan in place. You have to have a proper modus operandi in place to do such a Herculean exercise. You cannot just come out on the road and say that overnight, okay, from tomorrow onwards, all these vehicles are not going to be given the fuel. Those vehicles are going to go right up to the border. They are going to travel more, get their tanks filled up, and then they are going to.
But you did exactly the same thing. What were the measures that you put in place? In 2021, the Delhi government put out a directive, and I quote, "Vehicles violating age limits will be impounded and sent to scrapyard starting the 1st of January 2022. What was the leeway that you gave people of Delhi, or what was the new infrastructure that you put in place? And by the way, I must say that all of us complain of pollution in the National Capital Region. At some point, we will have to bite the bullet. All of us will get personally impacted by this. When the Aam Aadmi Party did it, it was the right decision. And when the BJP government is doing it, it is equally a right decision. But how disingenuous is this politics, Piyush Joshi?
No, you see, the matter of urgency is the problem. The pollution is definitely a huge problem when it comes to the National Capital Territory region of Delhi, and it needs to be tackled with heads on. That there's no two qualms about it. What we are discussing is the manner in which it is done. In the what is the urgency? All of a sudden that you are going to do
what
it.
Should have been done? What should have been done?
There has to be a plan in place. There has to be a more scientific method,
What was your plan when you did this in 2021? What was your plan?
Look, when Arvind Kejriwal ji started with odd and even program, he was criticized back just like anything when he implemented this program. He tried to do a novel thing, but the criticism is always there, and he was obstructed.
When you asked for old vehicles to be scrapped in 2021, what was your plan?
Look, had it been our government, like I myself own a vehicle, I myself own a two-wheeler that is approximately 4.5 years old, and it has just run 2,000 kilometers.
Okay.
So, are we going to impound that as well? So suddenly, with the BJP's 4-engine ki sarkar, they can go and pass a law which the Aam Aadmi Party did not have that luxury, of.
But
that we can go ahead in the central government and pass a law.
They did not pass a law. This was ordered by the NGT and then the Supreme Court, which your government upheld, and they are merely following the line drawn by the Supreme Court, just like your government did.
Let me explain. That is what I'm trying to say precisely, that we did not have a luxury of having a government in the center, so we couldn't have passed a new law going for better scientific methods for impounding of vehicles, rather than just going that BJP can do that. BJP is in power in center, like they reversed the constitutional bench order by...
I will ask the last political question, because I really must get to the nitty-gritty of this entire problem. Dr. Anil Gupta, why don't you bring an ordinance? People are suffering. Why don't you bring an ordinance to overrule the Supreme Court's order?
See, we cannot be pick and choose on the instructions of Honorable Supreme Court or Honorable NGT. We have to follow their orders. Second thing, during the Kejriwal government also, thousands of vehicles have been impounded. It is on the record. Third thing, even today, the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson is telling in front of the national channel, during the administrative control, the decision of the Honorable Court, they are just reading the one part. In the second part, the Honorable Supreme Court mentioned that the central government should come up with a legislation or ordinance. And this is what exactly we did. The administrative head is the LG. So don't tell lies. You can just read that order of the Honorable Supreme Court. So we should not be pick and choose. Second is the most important.
Okay.
Delhi, just last minute. Delhi is suffering from this bad air for so many years. They did not care for this. Now we are caring for. We have committed to make Delhi clean in 3-4 years. We have committed to make Jammu clean. So we are taking all the measures.
How practical is it? Vivek Chattopadhyay, will it really work? What is the argument regular people are making? There is far more pollution being done by construction activities, by trucks which are plying, by the parali burning, very popular bugbear. Is this just an easy fix and people are left to bear the brunt? How effective is this measure going to be? Vivek Chattopadhyay.
There in Delhi, transport sector, if you take a look, then I think in terms of total number of vehicles in the city, Delhi has the highest. None of the cities across India, or even if you put together all the metros, metro cities, you won't have that kind of vehicle. And Delhi is sprawling, and there are satellite towns, massive number of trips happening on private vehicles, and it has been a failure for the past 2 decades. Like in 1998, Supreme Court ordered that at least there should be 10,000 buses, but still you won't see that. And a last comprehensive mobility study was done in 2008, as I know. So it should have been in place right now. And the situation is such that we have to take, even if it is 2% problem, For example, when in winter we say that security guards should be provided heaters, what does it mean? It might be contributing something to the problem. So I think we cannot deny air pollution is a major issue. And there is a difference between the example that you have given, construction, dust and combustion or like from the vehicles. So in toxicity difference is very high, and these are very fine particles over 1 micron, less than 1 micron, and older vehicles are designed to meet outdated, with their outdated emission norms. So comparatively, for example, a BS1 truck compared to BS6 today would pollute 36 times higher pollution than 25 times for BS2, 15 times accordingly. So the problem is there that they are designed to emit higher and they deteriorate over the years also.
But let me ask you this then. There are a lot of people I've been speaking to, they say, my car is 12 years old, but it's in great shape. And I've driven it only about, say, 50,000 kilometers. Why are you junking it? I have got a PUC certificate. Pollution is under control. I have maintained it well. Then what is the logic in saying that you should put it in the scrapyard?
See, already the action on the mileage point that you are talking about, already there are tough rules on commercial vehicles for many years, like auto rickshaws, buses, and they are. So when it comes to private vehicles, okay, one person may say that I drive only say 1,000 kilometers in a month or say less than that. But whenever he is driving, the values, pollution values will not be equal to today's cleaner vehicles relatively. So the contribution will be happening there. And when you make the laws, for example, in other countries, Beijing has done it. Europe does it in a different way. They say it low emission zone. So they don't allow of certain vintage. For example, they will say that BS5 and BS5 won't be there. Euro 5 or older cars will not enter the city area, or electric vehicles will enter and Euro 6 will enter. So all countries are struggling, and all the mega cities, particularly Delhi, remains on the #1 chart across the world in terms of pollution. So I think for the safety of the people, and something has to be done, and all the emission sources have to be handled. But the plan should have been placed. The orders have started in 2015, 10 years have passed. Why there is no mechanism in place, as well as why there is no, when we say the alternative should be there, a poor person.
And that is a valid question I will put to Dr. Anil Gupta. But before that, I want to ask you, Renuka Jain, on the limited point of scrapping these old vehicles. No pain, no gain. They are contributing to the pollution. So unfortunately, everyone will have to hurt just a little so that we can have cleaner air.
Yeah, ma'am, good evening. Unfortunately, a common man always is a soft target for the government, because a common man doesn't have any time to speak for himself. He's busy in earning bread and butter for himself. He will not come out for protest. So just, go and scrap his vehicle. He has earned money. He has paid 30% tax on that. He has paid 18% GST. He has paid road tax. He has paid everything. But then, as soon as his car is 14 years and 364 days, he can drive it, and in one day suddenly everything changes for the car and it has to be thrown out to the scrap dealer. My heart goes out for the middle class who they save their money entire throughout their life, buy something, and then suddenly government comes out and says, okay, no, your car is a scrap or your scooty is a scrap, and throw it out as if only cars are causing pollution. You know what? They will never target a stubble burning. They will never target industries on the border of Delhi, because those are the vote banks. So
but ma'am, with the greatest of respect, like Vivek Chattopadhyay said, even if it is a contributor of 2%, ultimately action has to be taken. I want to count one more example of something that happened in the 2000s, because I remember I was in Delhi at that time. In, I think, 1998, the Supreme Court gave a directive that all the auto rickshaws, all these vehicles, the buses in Delhi need to be changed to CNG. The Chief Minister at that time was Sheila Dikshit. She faced so much resistance. There were strikes across Delhi. We did not have any auto rickshaw and bus running. Bus drivers said, "Hamare pet pe laat mari ja rahi hai, hum काम पे नहीं आएंगे," but she did it. And thanks to that, you should have seen that time when we used to have diesel buses in Delhi. The sky used to be black. We have a cleaner Delhi today because Sheila Dikshit took that step in 2001. Renuka Jain. It hurt. It was really troublesome, but it worked for Delhi.
There are other alternatives. You know, why the government does not allow, why have they made it illegal, which is legal all over the world, to convert your BS4 to BS6, whatever the cost may be? Why have they created this rule that this is illegal to? Then if I make my car from BS4 to BS6, you check the emission norms. If they pass, let my car be there. Let me spend. Why do I have to change my car to electric only through 2 or 3 companies who charge me 7 to 8 lakhs? Why this monopoly? It looks like a clear case of, government nexus with auto dealers.
Doctor,
as simple as.
You're talking about a nexus, but it's actually on the order of the NGT followed by the Supreme Court.
Ma'am, government does not, if government wants, there are other alternatives. They can allow us to change from BS4 to BS6. It is my cost. I'm willing to bear it. They can ask me to convert my car to electric from wherever I want and then check the emission norms. At least
answer this. Dr. Anil Gupta, 2 questions. The middle class, the common man is an easy person to kick. And second, what about your backup plan? Where are all the low-floor buses?
See, right to breathe good air is the right of all citizens, whether it is a common man, is a politician, bureaucrat, even the judiciary. And we are working on this. For last many years, this principle was not followed. We had the tag of the highest polluted city of the world, Delhi. Now we are changing that scenario. And second thing, this is the order of Honorable NGT, wherein the Supreme Court has also mentioned this thing. Third, there is an option also. This route is valid for Delhi NCR. I don't say everybody should follow this, but where some states are allowing, apart from Delhi NCR, to use these types of vehicles. There is an option. I mean, if a citizen wants to shift that vehicle to non-NCR cities, that can be taken, because there I think...
Fair, but I will have to sell it, and I'll sell it at a loss. You're basically saying I'll sell my car, but I'll sell it at a loss. You know about that story of a man who said I sold my 30 lakh cars for 3 lakh rupees. Nobody wants it because it's 14 years old.
I don't say this is a good option, but you asked me this thing, so that's why I am just mentioning what is the rules. And when failure of the Aam Aadmi Party government doesn't mean we carry on that failure. They have also impounded thousands of vehicles.
But do you have enough buses? Do you have enough public transport? This policy should have been placed earlier. And actually, that question will go to you, Piyush Joshi. That question will go to you. You should have had that policy in place.
Absolutely, perfectly. So let me allow me to respond to that particular question.
I'll come to Mr. Gupta in a second. Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Gehlot, when he was in Aam Aadmi Party and he was the transport minister of the then government of Delhi, ordered the largest fleet of electric buses to be procured and purchased. What happened? There was that alleged corruption which was being inquired by the LG in the purchase of that bus. Where is that corruption? Where is that inquiry? What happened to that? So now you are not having any obstructionist attitude from the office of LG. Buy the buses, make the public transport, accessible to the people of Delhi. Make the last mile connectivity. Na bhaiya, ab to आपकी बहुत ईमानदारी की सरकार है. अब तो डेमोलिशन डर भी चल रहा है ना भारतीय जनता पार्टी का. When it comes to Juggies, the people of Delhi voted for Bharatiya Janata Party. Where are the Arogya Mandirs? What happened to the Mohalla clinics were bad? Fine. You
could have put off the enforcement till the time you had enough backup in terms of buses. The bigger transport policy that Vivek Chattopadhyay is talking about. Mr. Gupta.
See, during the Kejriwal time also, the central government had provided 1,750 e-buses under the FAME scheme. That was given by the central government. And now under the Rekha government... That was
not given by the central government, sir. Don't lie on national television.
Don't interpret me and check your facts. I never interpret. Check. It is under FAME too. check it, check the records. Don't tell.
Sir, I know that. It's a contributory scheme, sir.
So, sir,
Gupta ji,
don't. No. Sir,
there was a share of Aam Aadmi Party Delhi government as well.
Was it not under the FAME 2 scheme? FAME 2 is the central government scheme. Under FAME 2,
आप गलत तो नहीं बोल सकते ना सर.
नहीं, गलत आप बोल रहे हैं.
सर, दोनों ने मिलकर खरीदा था ना
नहीं
सर.
सर, आप नहीं. आप
Okay,
गलत
let's
बोल रहे
not quibble about these things.
Under FAME 2, the central government had provided the e-buses to Delhi, and central government had given the subsidy on that. Now under the Rekha government, we are increasing the fleet of buses. We have increased
Okay,
the fleet
Renuka
of
Jain,
heavy buses.
does that satisfy you?
When
That
and
it's an inevitability, but they'll try and soften the blow as much as possible by giving you buses, public transport.
No, ma'am. I think Delhi has been caught between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, always fighting with each other. I am not with any politics, but all I request to Delhi CM Ms. Rekha Gupta and respected Narendra Modi sir to have a look at this rule. There are a lot of alternatives that you can offer to people rather than the middle class just watching his vehicle or anything just going away with tears in his eyes. I have just this request and getting buses. We don't have those roads. First make the infrastructure for the buses. Every second day we have a bus which
Okay.
is it's been broken down and the traffic jam. We don't have a proper infrastructure. Let's have a world class infrastructure before having these world class orders of this is a farman.
All
This is
right.
a farman which I don't
Is this a
agree.
vicious
And I
circle
respect
that Delhi
Mr.
gets
Gupta.
caught in? Is there any way to soften the blow? Because ultimately, the measure will have to be put in place if Delhi has to breathe easy at some point. Yes, you need to crack down on other forms of pollution also, but this cannot get a free pass. In what way can it be done? Can it be made better? I'll leave that to your judgment. Meanwhile, all gentlemen, Renuka Jain, thanks very much for joining us in your interest.
मेरा नया कुकी होल्डर कप एक तेरे लिए मंगाऊं? नहीं। मेरा नया क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल, मेरे नए म्यूजिक गॉगल्स मंगाओ क्या? मेरा नया रेन प्रोटेक्टर।
मेरी नई गाड़ी
नाइस।
कप होल्डर है, कुकी भी रख सकते हैं, क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल है, म्यूजिक भी।
सेविंग्स की विद्या तो फिर खुद से सीखे।
कुछ बड़ा बनाना है तो पहले बचाओ। फेडरल बैंक से रिश्ता बनाओ।
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Women in West Bengal should be assured that it is a safe place for them, because justice should be done, served cold, quickly, and it should be done in a way that it is transparent. Peace and prosperity cannot coexist with terrorism and proliferation of weapons of mass destruction in the hands of terror groups. These visuals are the most defining moment when India's defense minister called out China's bluff. The memories of emergency have again become very, very relevant. There is no excuse. It subverted our constitution.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
In a mid-air scare, a window frame on a SpiceJet flight SG1080 traveling from Goa to Pune popped out mid-flight. sparking concerns among passengers. The incident occurred on the 1st of July and was captured on video by a passenger. Fortunately, no one was injured. Responding to the incident, SpiceJet clarified that the dislodged component was a non-structural cosmetic trim and that passenger safety was never compromised. The airline added that cabin pressurization remained normal and there was no impact on flight operations. In a statement, the airline confirmed that the frame was reattached after landing at the